In the world of football, there are a lot of trophies teams can win. But there's one award that stands alone. It's not for a team, it's for an individual. And it's the one every single player on the planet dreams of winning. Today, we're telling the story of that prize, the Ballon d'Or.
So what's the difference between a great player and a true legend? You know, the kind of player whose name echoes through history. Well, there are a lot of ways to get there, but one of the surest paths is by getting your hands on one very specific, very golden trophy.
Okay, so let's rewind the clock. We're going all the way back to the mid-1950s, where an idea was brewing that would, honestly, change football forever.
In 1956, this magazine, France Football, had this brilliant idea. They created the Ballon d'Or, which literally just means the golden ball. Now you might be thinking, an award for the best player, what's the big deal? But back then, whoa, this was completely groundbreaking. See, football was all about the team trophy. This was the first time someone stepped up and said, hey, let's celebrate individual genius. Let's put that brilliance on a pedestal.
So who was the very first player to get this honor? It was none other than the legendary English winger Stanley Matthews. His nickname was the Wizard of the Dribble, which tells you everything you need to know. And with his victory, a tradition was born that would define greatness for decades.
As the years went on, the Ballon d'Or started to become something more. It wasn't just about being the best player that year. Winning it meant you were a game changer. You were a revolutionary. I mean, just look at this list of names. It's a who's who of football royalty. You've got the explosive power of Portugal's Eusebio, the sheer raw genius of George Best. But then you get to guys who literally reinvented the game. Johan Cruyff, the Dutch mastermind behind total football, or Germany's Franz Beckenbauer, who basically invented the modern defender role. See what I mean? These weren't just the best players, they were visionaries.
But there was a problem. A really big one, actually. As the award's prestige grew, a fundamental flaw in its rules was becoming impossible to ignore, a flaw that was about to cause a huge crisis.
So picture the 1980s. The decade was absolutely dominated by European superstars. You had Michel Platini, the French midfield maestro who just casually won it 3 times in a row, and then the incredible Dutch striker Marco van Basten came along and grabbed 3 of his own. On the surface, it looked like the award was working perfectly.
But something felt off. There was this one player, a guy that almost everyone agreed was not just the best of the decade, but maybe the best player to ever touch a football, and his name was nowhere to be found on the list of winners.
Yeah, it's the shocking truth. Diego Maradona, the Argentine genius who could win games all by himself, never won the Ballon d'Or. Not once. It sounds completely impossible, right?
And the reason why is just ridiculous. It was a single devastating rule. Only players from European nations could win. So even though Maradona was in Italy playing out of his mind, his Argentine passport made him ineligible. The world's best player was locked out of the world's biggest prize. Something had to change.
And thankfully, it did. In 1995, the award finally got its most important update, evolving from a European prize into the truly global honor it was always meant to be.
The change was simple, but its impact was profound. Before 1995, it was all about your passport. After 1995, it was all about your talent. The doors were finally thrown open to the best players from all over the world.
And boy, did we see the impact right away. That very same year, the winner was George Weah of Liberia. And get this, to this day, he remains the one and only African player to have ever won the Ballon d'Or, a truly historic and incredible moment.
All right, so the award is now global, it's fair, and the stage is set for what would become its most legendary chapter. An era defined not by one king, but by 2 gods fighting for a single golden throne.
11. Just let that number sink in for a second. Between 2008 and 2019, there were 12 Ballon d'Or awards given out. 11 of them went to just 2 men, Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. This wasn't just dominance, it was a total takeover, a level of control we had never seen before and, let's be honest, we'll probably never see again.
And the pattern was just relentless. First Ronaldo, then Messi, Messi. For a solid decade, it was just a back-and-forth battle between them. The only player to break their stranglehold was Luka Modric in 2018, and he had to have a heroic, superhuman World Cup to do it. Besides that one year, it was a complete duopoly. And what made the rivalry so captivating was that they were complete opposites. You had Messi, the quiet magician,
the natural genius whose control of the ball just defied the laws of physics. And then you had Ronaldo, the machine, the perfect athlete built through sheer will and dedication, a goal scorer who was just brutally efficient. It was the ultimate clash of styles. But, as they say, all eras must come to an end. As we moved into the 2020s, the world of football began to look beyond the two giants, opening up a new and pretty unpredictable chapter for the Golden Ball.
The new decade started off weirdly, with the award being canceled in 2020 because of the pandemic, a first in its history. Then, in 2022, Karim Benzema had an absolutely unforgettable season with Real Madrid and rightfully claimed the prize. But the old guard had one last masterpiece in him. In 2023, after captaining Argentina to that historic World Cup victory, Lionel Messi returned to claim the throne one final time.
8. With that final, emotional win, Messi's total count reached an astonishing 8 Ballon d'Ors. That isn't just a record, it's a monument. It's so far beyond anyone else in history that it's really hard to imagine anyone will ever break it.
So in the end, the Ballon d'Or is so much more than just a trophy. It's like a mirror that reflects the entire story of football, its evolution, its heroes, and yeah, even its controversies. It really is the game's crown jewel, the ultimate dream for every kid kicking a ball in the park.
The era of Messi and Ronaldo is finally over. The legends of the past have set the standard. The stage is now empty, waiting for a new generation to come and claim it. So the only question left for us is, who's next?